Hey Hebrew fans, this is Todd, and today we are going to fix this figure. So I bought this figure on eBay, and when I got it, it showed it had a broken leg. It's like, I fixed broken legs before, no big deal. But let me tell you a little bit more to the story. There's more to the story. But before we get started, let me go ahead and open up YouTube so I can see your guys' comments. YouTube. All right. And your channel, Broken Live. Broken Live. Then I'll check the audio on it. All right, cool. All right, so let me go ahead and tell you guys a little story. So when I got this figure, I got it for two reasons. One, I wanted the box, because I want to stick my clear King Grayskull in here. So I have a box for each one, for the blue clear one, for the regular one, and for the bronze one. So I was just going to buy a box. But then this guy had this figure with a broken leg, and I thought, you know what? I've fixed broken legs before. I can do this. Hey, Charles, thanks for joining us. Godzilla, thanks for being here. Delaxorian, thanks for being here. Hey, Mike, thanks for being here. But then when I got him, I noticed not only was his leg broken, but so were both his ankles. I'm like, what? Both his ankles are broken. So I decided to go and look back at the original auction and see, were they listed as broken ankles? And so let me go ahead and complain some more, because that's what I do best. And let's see, I will go into my library and albums, King Grayskull auction. So here is the picture that I got of my King Grayskull from the auction. And you can see right here, it looks like the foot is attached. Okay, well, that's understandable. Here you can't tell because it's shaded. So I went to the next picture to look. And here you can see they're showing the leg definitely broken. And the next picture shows the leg definitely broken. But again, you can't see this side of the ankle, so I have no idea if the other side's broken or not. And then you see this view here. And again, it looks like the foot peg might be empty. So maybe it's still attached to the foot. And it looks like it's there. It looks like right there in the back corner, I can kind of see the ankle attached to the foot. So I'm assuming he's supposed to show up with just a broken leg and that's it. Then when I open the box, both ankles are broken too. So I went back and looked at the text as well, and nowhere in the text does it say that the ankles are broken, just the leg. So one of two things happened. Either one, the guy lied in the auction. Possible. It's not the first time it's happened to me. Or two, they got broken during shipment to my house. Now, that's very possible because the guy left the leg in here loose and it was banging around. He could at least wrapped it with bubble wrap or something else, or put it somewhere else in the box. The box had more than enough room to wrap it separately instead of just letting it haphazardly smack around in here and cause more damage. So that was kind of a little bit of annoying too, that this was left in there just to potentially cause more damage. So I was like, man, really? So now we have two things to fix. We have the leg to fix, and we have both ankles. So I guess it's three things technically, because it's two ankles. But anyway, let's see if the box works. Nope. So I'll do a separate video later on the box. We'll change the batteries. We'll put the clear King Grayskull in there, and that'll be it. Now I remember when I first got this King Grayskull, not this particular one, but the first one I got, I didn't know about these figures coming out. I was getting out of doing the action figure thing. I was starting to change some of my stuff that I was doing. And then I went back on He-Man.org and I saw the prototype He-Man. And I was like, oh, that looks so cool. And I started asking questions. So like, Hebrew, where have you been? The Four Horsemen has made this really awesome new custom He-Man, not custom, but new He-Man style figure, and they're releasing this new figure called King Grayskull, and so I had to go on eBay and pre-order one from somebody who was going to Comic-Con or whatever it was, and Then when I got him, I remember I was so excited. I opened him up and I put him with my regular He-Man figures, and I liked that he was bigger size like the cartoon. So I thought he was going to be an oversized figure. And I was all excited about this oversized figure. And then I realized they're all going to be this size. Which then, of course, I was like, man, they should have made them the same size as our original 80s He-Man figures and just made King Grayskull extra big so he matched the cartoon. But unfortunately, they did not do that. So that kind of stinks. So let's first get him out of the box, and then we'll talk about how to fix him. Now, one thing I notice is I can tell this person has pulled him out of the box before because the rubber bands are not around his wrists. So he must have pulled them out, stuck them back in here. And I should have looked to see where he came from. The guy who sold him to me. Now the waist is loose, so I'm guessing that they may have carefully put him back in there. We'll see if we can get him out. Come on out of there, King Grayskull. Okay, let's see. His cape is really stuck in there too. Maybe he didn't pull him out before. Maybe his arms were just loose for some strange reason. Okay, let's open up the top of the box. Hey, the tape is still sealed on the top. How about the bottom? Tape is still sealed on the bottom too. Now, if you guys didn't know about this box, there's some really cool feature, and that is these sides come out and you pop them out just like this, and you just reverse them, and they create these little towers on both sides. And once you create the two towers on both sides, you then have another piece that goes over the top. Let's see, he included that in the box as well. And then this just slides up and over, and it's got some little spots in there to kind of go inside the tower. There we go, one side and then the other, and now you got yourself kind of a little mini Grayskull. And that was kind of a fun feature. Then when you open them up, it would say, I have the power, and the lightning would flash. And again, once I change the batteries in here, it will do that again. So we will get that working on a different video. All right, oops. Let's go ahead and close the box up. I'll put this back in the main box that it came in. And let's see if we can't get him out of there without destroying the box, so I can put the other one in there. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut the tape on top. It's just got to happen. Where are my scissors? Scissors of power! So like I said, maybe the guy never did take him out of the box. Maybe he just pulled his arms out or something. Should put all these parts on the blue tray here so I don't lose any feet. See, here's how you change the batteries. Really easy. You just pull out that screw, change out the batteries, bada bing, bada boom, done. I didn't know that at first. I did a whole video one time and I actually tried to pull this apart right here, and it was a mess. I made a huge disaster out of it. I think because I didn't want to open the box. You know what? That rubber band was still connected to his hand. This one was too. It's just really old and loose and broke. So maybe he never did pull him out of the box. Alright, I'm going to have to cut the waistband. Man. Now, one time I did fix a King Grayskull and left him in the box. It was pretty impressive. I was actually able to fix his ankle piece and leave him still intact in the box. And that was pretty cool. Again, I want to damage the box as little as possible because that's why I bought this in the first place. And it was just crazy because it wasn't much more for a figure and a box on eBay with shipping than it was just to buy a box. Like I mentioned earlier, I wanted the box. So this will be an extra King Grayskull for me. Maybe I'll sell them on eBay or something once I get them fixed. There we go. Whew. What a hassle, but he is free. I am free. Oh. No way. This is a good one. Usually the head is glued to the cape and you get all kinds of paint marks and everything else on there. There's a little bit of paint marks, but not like usual, where it's just crazy full of paint on the back. Now his cape is actually glued on there. As you can see, it actually goes all the way into the hole in his back. Oh, you know what? This one, they didn't glue. Wow, this is going to make this really easy to fix. Hooray! We got a figure that was not fully glued. Of course, it's also in pretty bad shape too. Now, these figures tend to break in 3 spots. Actually, it's more than 3 spots, but 3 areas, which equal to like 6 spots. And we'll talk about it, and I've actually had to fix them from all different breaks that I've had so far. Just set this down on the floor. So one spot is, of course, the crotch area. This looks like this one's broken. Another spot is the shoulder. I've actually had one break on the shoulder before. Another area, of course, is the ankle, which we see right here. I haven't had one break on the knee yet, and I haven't had one break in half, and I haven't had the head peg break off. Now this head peg, the hole for the head is actually smaller than the ones that are removable, because this head was never meant to be removed. So it takes a lot of hot water to get that head off. It's a real pain to get it off. All right, so let's talk about ways to fix this. So that light is just caustic. I need to get new lights. I bought new lights and I got them on a China discount, and they just kill my video the way things look with it. Let me turn those lights down a little bit. See if that helps. It still looks very jaundicey. Okay, anyway. So, 2 ways to fix this. One is the old pin method of putting pins and everything else, but this little area is so thin, it's just not going to hold a pin very well. Another way is to get a donor figure. Now, you can go get donor figures, pretty inexpensive, depending on what you get. So let's go ahead and talk about different donor figures to use. Let's see, Mike says, I want that box. It's probably $100 in eBay. If you want, I got the link in the description of the one I actually bought, so you can see how much I paid and stuff. Hold on a second. Let's see here. Where did I put it? Well, I had a King Grayskull still in the box, but I don't know where I put him at right now. But you could go and get the other King Grayskull that has the red cape and everything else in order to fix your King Grayskull. And that's a good way to go, but kind of spendy, because those King Grayskulls are also kind of expensive. Now, as I'm feeling this, I can feel this is a little bit sticky, just slightly. So after I pull this off, I'm going to give it a nice little wash to keep it off the root of the paint, and then probably put a clear coat on it to protect it from the paint coming off. Because the way it feels, you can see the paint's going to get really sticky on me. And I have some O-rings here to fix the legs and some other things. So we got that set. So another donor body that works really, really well for this particular King Grayskull, because believe it or not, his skin tone is actually different than the King Grayskull with the red cape. So if you get the wrong one, the skin tone's not going to match right on. So another way you can go is you can get the knockoff versions from China and use their bodies. Now, there's a problem with the China knockoffs. One, the plastic is different, and they tend to yellow really easy. You can see how yellow that looks. The arms don't even match the color. So if I use this for my replacement part, the parts we'll have to replace is the torso and the bottom half right here, because it's really hard to separate this and have it still work. And so now I'm going to have this inferior plastic in there. It's not going to work. But we are going to use the pin from these boots, being they're so nice and dark. So that way just the pin will be the China knockoff piece, not the whole entire boot. You can see the boots are different colors, so I still want to keep the regular boots and the regular feet. We're just going to steal the pin, and that's it from that. So he's going to lose his pin. Ha! I'll be pinless. Pinless. Whoa, that's bright. Pinless. All right. I think this is blue think this blue is throwing off all my colors. So let's take a look here and figure out which one I want to use these China knockoffs for the pins. Let's see which colors match the best. They are all the same color. Okay, so let's take a look here. Yeah, these China knockoffs are ridiculous. Look at how far the color differs between the chest and the arms. I didn't know it looked that bad because this one's not too bad here. This one's not quite as yellowed, but still doesn't match. But I think this guy has the most color discoloration. I'm going to use his pins. You're going to lose your pins, man. So I'm going to pull his boots off right now just so I can steal his pins. And normally I wouldn't use China knockoff figures for any of this, but the pins are such a small piece, and I find the boots are actually made really good on the Chinese knockoffs. All right, now we still need a body. I have found Molar is a really close match for King Grayskull. And so I like to use Molar when I can for fixing these parts, because when you put them together, you're going to hardly even notice that there's a difference between the figures. Now normally you take and you splice this up like that on the side, break all the glue on there, and then you got to pull his head off, pull his arm off, and then work this all the way off to the side, and then pull off the legs, the arms, the loincloth. The head, of course, is already off because you pulled this off. And then you have that piece left. The problem is his loincloth is blue underneath. Blue, and his is brown. Now normally it's not a problem because it's a longer loincloth, but once in a while you're taking pictures, you'll get a glimpse going diagonal where you see this blue coming into the picture. And it's like, ah, that looks horrible. Horrible. So, what you do, I already got one ready, boop, is you paint it. And you can see this used to be blue underneath, there's the blue right there. I only painted where it was visible, and then I just took and covered it with masking in order to get it ready for a clear coat to be put on it, to not get the clear coat anywhere else except for where I wanted it to be. Now there's a high chance this is going to come off. I only painted it like an hour ago. If it does come off, I'm not too worried about it. I'm just going to repaint it back on. I just used some standard brown paint from the craft store, and then I used some clear coat paint afterwards. There we go. And there is our brown, just where the camera might be able to catch pictures of it. What's nice too is I purposely don't want to paint the whole thing brown. So 2 years from now, I can look up inside there and see that the replacement parts. So if in case I sell them, I could tell someone, yep, I use replacement parts. It's not the full original one. All right. Let me slide all these figures away. And let's see if these boots are ready to come off yet. These boots are made for walking. Let's see, early body with wide loincloth. Yes, he does have the wider loincloth. That part's going to stink because obviously now he's going to have the narrow loincloth. But you're right, the first figures, the first He-Man and the first King Grayskull had the wide loincloth. He also had backward shoulders too. So it's going to also fix the backward shoulder syndrome on him as well. So we're going to fix that as well. The wider loincloth does work better with Battle Cat, though, I found out, for his legs to go around Battle Cat. So I actually like to use the wider one. This looks almost purplish. It's so weird. I don't know if you can't see it, the color of on the video or not, but this is kind of almost purplish looking, the way his arms and legs look. Oh well, we'll toss them aside, and we will get these pins out of here because that's what I want. That's what I want. Oh, I gotta get the pin out. Well, not the pin, but the ring. Now I'm probably gonna have to get up and switch hot water once in a while because this water will go cold way too quick often, so we will have to fix that. Okay. Let's see if I've gotten that loose enough yet to get that out of there. There we go. Oh, got it out. Hooray. So now we have some new rings to replace. The long part goes in the front. The back part goes in the heel. We'll get this out of there too. Hooray. Now I'm going to get all of these parts off of here so I don't mix them up with the official parts, because I don't want to have any parts mixed up. And let's just go ahead and let's just start fixing those boots. We will start with the right one, so I don't mix them up. Now you can feel this, it's super tight. If I was to spin that, it would just break more. So I'm going to drop this in there, and that will give us a chance to get it loose. And then you will put the right foot on there with the new pin. Now, what's interesting is the pins they used are painted, and I think that's what causes part of it to snap, is they get stuck in there, and then they're made of inferior plastic, and they just snap. All right, where are my tongs of power? I used them earlier for my pitcher. I don't know where I set them. Tongs of power. You know what? I'll find them once the video's over. I'll be like, oh, there they are. Oh, there they are. Makes life way easier instead of trying to reach in with your fingers. Ugh. What temperature do you have the water at? I usually try to keep it at 205 or higher. Right now it's at 223, but it's really not. That's the temperature of the plate, not the water itself. Once the water gets below 205 degrees, it will stop working. I actually have a whole video explaining the temperature, and I've done temperature tests on things, so it's kind of a fun little dealy bob. When you do wow, this is broken in multiple places. That's just crazy. This pin. All right, let's put the new one on. We got the new one on. Let's just go ahead and reclose it. That stinks. The pin is also painted, so I may have to use that pin from... I may want to use the pin for the from the knockoff figure too, just to get it back on there. Okay. Fit. Fit. Yeah, there's some extra plastic on there. It's causing me problems. So you're probably wondering about the title. What's with the Squid Games? If you haven't seen the Squid Games yet, there's a scene where they're going across these glass panels, and they're made of tempered glass or of breakaway glass. And as they're jumping across, all of a sudden, wham, they go through to their death or whatever, or break their legs. So King Grayskull was jumping across those glass, and unfortunately, he chose the wrong glass panel. And now he is paying the ultimate price. Now, sometimes I use these to help push it in. These work great for trying to get the pins back in. Yeah, see, the water cools down pretty quick. Now this is at 219. It's probably a lot cooler than that. And I noticed once you put the new parts in, they act like ice cubes and start cooling everything down. So you'll know right away, because things will stop going together on you. And you're like, oh, well, that's why things aren't working. They have cooled down too much. Ugh. Cut off any excess rubber you have sticking out there. Oh, I hate that. The paint comes off so easy. That's the stinky part about this. All right, let's see if we can loosen this up. And there we go. And now for the foot. This is going to be a pain. We got to get this piece out first. And these feet are a little bit harder than the other feet we just pulled off, so I may have to get some other pliers to do this. No. And part of the problem is my water's starting to cool down. It's like this foot has just hardened back up. Okay, I'm going to have to go grab some more hot water. It's already cooling down too much. You guys can stare at Broken King Grayskull. Free lessons on thermodynamics. Now I'm going to go dump this water and get some more hot water. Oh, hot water. People who just joined are probably like, what the heck? This video's frozen. Nothing's happening. There's no talking. There's no movement. Yeah, I had to go grab some more hot water. All right, the foot's in there. You know what? I'm going to grab my better pliers too while I'm at it. I'll be right back with some better pliers. Better pliers. I got some better pliers. Oh, there we go. All right, let's pull this thing out, see if we can get that pin or that ring out and get his foot attached. Ugh, you can do it. It doesn't feel very pliable. Okay, let's try this again. This time I'll try to be quicker. I just can't believe that guy left that leg banging around in there. That's just crazy. Crazy. Bend. Bend, I tell you. Ugh. Ugh. 'Cause, 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 'c There we go. Oh, that's why they put it in backwards. Look at that. They put the small end in the back and the big end in the front. That's why I couldn't get it out of there. There's your problem. All right. Now we'll stick it on to the leg. Let's see who's here while waiting this warm up. Mike's here. Hey, Eric. My afternoon's going well. Thank you for asking. Was the red cape version just a regular release? Yes, it was. The red cape version was a regular release, and he had actual white, like fuzz on the top as well. There we go. Woohoo! One ankle done. One to go. I guess I can pull this top part of his leg out too while we're at it. While the water's hot. This is the bad part, waiting for it to all cook. The cooking of King Grayskull. Let's see if it's hot, heated up enough to get it out of there. I don't believe it is. A little bit more. A little bit more. All right, let's see if his leg's warm enough to pull out the pin. There we go. Wow, this one's broken in two places too. That's just crazy. Crazy. All right. And we'll heat that up so you can push it back together. Let's see if this one is hot enough to get this out yet. I have to wait longer for the heat to propagate through the plastic. Erg. Fit. You can do it. That's the hardest part, trying to get those pins back in sometimes. It can be a real bear. I'm going to take this large piece right here of this tile. I'm going to use the corner right here to push on it to see if we can't get the ankle back in a little easier. Okay, so I'm going to use the corner of this right here and just kind of press on. Come on, you can do it. Sometimes it's just so tight and it just will not go in. Okay. Let's pull this back out and start over. Let's start over, shall we? Yeah, that pin is just not quite. There we go. There we go. It was just too far on one side, so I couldn't get it to... Oops. I almost put it on backwards too. I'm as bad as Mattel. All right. Here we go. Here we go, here we go. Put it on the corner. Jam it on in there. Come on. Urgh. It's funny, for a title I almost said easy way to fix your King Grayskull, but obviously this is not the easy way. There is no easy way. Don't break on me. Don't break. Okay, one more heat up, it should go right in. I'll probably have to repaint these ankle pins when I'm done here. Urgh. Come on. It's not going back together for me. Alright, I'm pulling it off his leg. You're losing your boot, man. I'll leave it on. Well, while we're waiting for that, let's go ahead and finish pulling this apart. Hooray! Let's get the other foot out of there and pull that apart. Wow, that is just stuck in there. Oh. It's crazy. It's a little bit harder plastic than we're used to dealing with the other figures. Oh. Urgh. Urgh. Fit. Fit. Okay. Okay, it's time to manhandle this a little bit more. Let me go ahead and pull this pin all the way out. Scissors. Ugh. Okay. My water's already cooling down. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it. We'll put the pin in on this side first. We'll get the hard side out of the way. The side that was killing us last time. Bump, 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 bump. It's gonna work this time. Man, the wrong side went in again. Urgh. Okay, I felt it click in that time. We'll pull off this side only, and we'll leave that open on the other side. I'll leave it in there. And that side was so hard to close. Ugh. There we go. Heat it up one more time. Let's see if we get lucky. Do you feel lucky, punk? Yeah, I kind of do a little bit. All right, I think we got it. I think we got it. No way. Hooray, he's been repinned. Whew. Anyway, let's take his leg off too while we're at it. So let's just bend him up and toss him in the hot water. And then we'll get that other foot out and see if we can't get that pin out of there. Well, not the pin, but the other half of the ring. Oh no, it's breaking. I don't want it to break on me without coming out first. You gotta come out of there. If I ever get out of here. Okay. Ouch. And that is how you stab yourself. In case you're wondering how the best way to stab yourself, just take a screwdriver, jam it in some plastic piece, and have it come back and get you on the backside. Oh no. We're almost out of gripping plastic here. Oh! There it is. Well, let's see if we can get his leg off. Get a leg up on the competition. Not quite yet. It's not quite hot enough. Maybe it is. Let's give this a little bit of a tug. Hey, we got it. Hooray. All right. Now let's get this cape off. Hooray. Now let's get his arms and his head off. And you know what? I'm going to go turn the hot water on and then go grab it in a minute. So I'll be right back to go crank that hot water on. You guys can watch King Grayskull getting drowned. It's how long he can hold his breath for. Yes, stabbing your parts, Mike, is very common when you're trying to do this. All right, the hot water is on. And it is going to boil here in a minute. Now, if your hot water is not hot enough, you'll just find that it just takes a whole lot longer for it to sit to get ready. The hardest part we're going to have is taking this loincloth off, and we will play with that in a few minutes. And then trying to get it back on to that figure. Let's see if his head is loose enough to come off yet. No. I need more hot water. Yep, he's not hot enough to remove. We'll just keep him warm for a minute. I'm going to go grab some more hot water. And we will get this going. You guys can stare at these parts. I'll be right back. Oh, it's a hot cup of water. Look how the ankle pieces are. Oh, yeah, don't repair your stuff with super glue. Bad idea. You can get some cheap figures really easily, especially the Chinese knockoff ones. They are really inexpensive, and you can use them for parts, like I did with these ankle pieces. Ugh. I need a second pair of hands. Mike, can you grab that out of there for me while I'm bending this back? Thanks, Mike. I am afraid I'm not going to get this out of here before I'm out of plastic to grip onto. Okay, I'm going to use these non-marring pliers, see if this helps. Oh, I hate doing this. It just means more paint touch-up later. Hey, we got it. Now you guys didn't see it, but hey, I pulled it out of there. And you got to stick it on this foot here. Now see, I got those little spots I'm going to have to paint again later. All right, slide the toe part in first. And then once the toe part is in, you just reach the heel across the back. And there you go. Do. Good as new. Time to switch lights. There we go. Hey, my TV went off too. What the heck? I am taking so long that my TV went into sleep mode. Return. Let the power return. There we go. All right. Let's try to get his arms off first. And then we'll try his head. Whew. Hot, hot, hot. Some like it. Hot, hot, hot. Do. Ow. Okay, here goes the head. There we go. And you can see how small the hole is in there. So it's really hard to get on there. And now for his armor. Armor off. Now bonus points if you can get the armor off without snapping the back. So that is the key here, is to not have this back piece come off, otherwise you're going to have to re-glue it. So it's a matter of stretching one side over the other. Oh, it's cooling down. Yeah, it's not as rubbery as the new figures are, so you got to keep reheating it over and over and over, especially the loincloth. I'm probably going to burn my fingers a bunch trying to get it off. So it just cools down so fast because it's so thin. Ouch, ouch, ooh. Hot, hot, hot. Hooray, we got one side up. Got the other side, we got it off without causing any damage. See, normally this piece will come off right here where that pin is, and then you're stuck having to reglue it, so. All right, now for the loincloth. Now you can see this loincloth is painted in place, so we're gonna have quite the task to get this off. I do have some screwdrivers to help with the task. And I am going to move this plate here and bring back my... Oh, I'm spilling water everywhere. That's why I usually use this to keep the water on one side. But I had to use this to push the ankle in. How is the hip joint attached to the loin piece? Good question. There's actually a piece that goes up in here that is connected. Now, I could take and just break this to get to it, but I kind of want to show you guys how to take the loincloth off in case you don't want to destroy the figure to do it. So that's what we're going to do here today. So you first have to get, there we go, get that twisting again. And once you get it twisting, you want to rotate it. And one side has a long hole, one side has a short hole. So you want to find that. Then you want to put your screwdriver underneath, and then just start to work it around and pull it. And as you pull it, you can see right there, there's the hole. And on this side, there's the hole. So you can see where the holes are. And this one is about a little less than 1/4 inch. And this side is a little more than 1/4. So this is the big side over here. So that's the side I want to pull from. There we go. So we're going to take and try to get that loincloth off of here. And because it's more plasticky than rubbery, it's going to take a lot of heating to do this. And I may have to change my water again before I complete this task. Oh, I'm dripping water on my thing. Don't shut off on me. Don't do it. I'll have to drag it sideways. Ugh. Okay, then you get it up in there. Get it up in there. And once you get that up in there, you can now start to work around and bring it out from the gap. Bring it out of the gap. And this is the trickiest part. You just kind of work it around town. Kind of fold that right out of the gap. Man, it cools down fast. You just feel all of a sudden it becomes solid again. Hot, hot, hot. And you just keep working it, and then pretty soon it just comes right off. Now I know people all the time will say, just cut it and re-glue it. Don't cut it and re-glue it. That is a bad way to do it. All right, there we go. Now, when you go to put this back on, it's going to be a pain in the rear because these triangles are going to get caught over and over again. You'll never be able to get past those triangles cutting on you or getting caught on you. So we're going to cut them off. So drop it in the hot water to make it so it's soft, plasticky. And once it's soft and plasticky, you're just going to take and cut off those corners because you will get caught on those every single time over and over again. So just deal with it now and cut them off. They will vex you forever. Yeah, I figured out the hard way. If you don't cut the corners off, you will be sorry later. All right. That is looking pretty good. Most of the corners are pretty much hacked off. They're hacked off now, man. And now we can, as you can see, once it starts cooling down, it's pretty tough to get it back on there. Now we're going to put it onto our new body. Now you want the flat to go on the back. You can see here on the original how the flat goes in the back and the round goes in the front. So you got to make sure you do the exact same thing when you put it back on. And you're going to use the same process. You're going to fold these legs in. And you're going to hook these up right around the legs like that. And that's all you're going to do for the first round. Round 1, hook the legs on. Heat it up again because it's going to cool down on you over and over and over again. And then now once you get that heated up, you can now work it up the sides. And again, it's going to cool on you really quick. You know what? I have to get more hot water. Sorry, you guys. It's cooled down too much. Doing the loincloth, you got to have super, super hot water. You guys can stare at his underpants hanging down. All right, I got some fresh hottie McHottie water. Okay, let's get this dunked. Let's get these shorts up. Now, chances are that paint that I painted on is probably going to come off. Usually I do it after I put the loincloth on, not before. And again, because it's so thin, it's going to keep cooling on you really fast. So you got to work quick. You want to get it up and over the edge as quick as you can before it starts to cool on you. And it, like I said, it cools really fast. So we got one side up. Now for the other side. This is probably my paint's going to slough all off. Oh, it's hot, but it's not going. Come on. You can do it. Oh, cool down. Yep, the hip was broken on this one, and so were the ankles. So that's why I'm giving him a new donor body. Oh, it's stuck. Screwdriver. Hug. There we go. Ugh. Okay, now you got it right there. Just got a little further to go. And you're just going to use the same method you used earlier. Kind of work it around. and jam it into the gap. Into the gap. Let's see, just bring it around. And you can see those little corners you cut off. They're going to start going in first. Cool down. It's crazy how fast it cools down. It's really weird. You know, it will still be hot to the touch, but you can feel it's no longer pliable. And that's when you have to... And you don't want to start trying to move it when it's not pliable. Otherwise, you will stretch it out forever. Forever! Alright, once you got it in the gap, you're then going to look underneath to make sure and see. I told you that paint was going to scrape off. Look for any angle pieces stuck in there. And then one last heat up to shrink it back on. Shrinky dinks. And then push it into the gap. And I wish I would have waited to paint it till after I put it on. That's what I usually do, but I thought it'd be cool to get it done ahead of time. Not a good plan on my part. Usually, like I said, usually I'd go do it right now. After I dried it off, I'd go down, I'd open the legs up, and I'd do a paint job, and then, yeah, it totally came off the back too. Stinky, that's going to be messy. All right, so now let's go ahead and finish reassembling him. Let's start with the armor. Armor on. One up, one down. It's just crazy. Armor has the same problem as the loincloth. It cools down really fast. Almost faster because it's so thin and you're stretching it at the same time. So you got to be quick, quick, quick. Quick, quick, quick. And remember, don't force it. If it's not going, heat it back up again. Because if you force it, you're going to change the shape of it forever. And you don't want that. Then you'll actually stretch the plastic instead of... There we go. Hooray. Now the head. The legs. The arms. The other leg. Like I said, I'll clean that up and repaint it later and repaint the pins too. No, the new body does not have the hole in the back. That is correct. What's funny is you can see the spot where it's supposed to be. So they actually they use the same molds. And so there is a spot, see that line right there? Where that's where the back was cut out. And they plugged it up for the new He-Man figure, but they never actually made a new mold. And so it's funny that they actually used the same mold, and you could see the square where it's supposed to be in the new figures. So that's always kind of funny. So usually what I do is I'll stick it on, as you can see. And it didn't go in the hole very far anyway on this one. And sometimes it's fine just like that. Other times I'll take and I'll lob it off, just cut it off, heat it up and cut it off. It's kind of your call. I would not Dremel this out. That's going to make a huge mess. All right, the arms are easier to put on the legs. Let's start with the arms. If I can get it out of there. I was never good at bobbing for apples. We'll cheat. There we go. All right. See, look, that's a pretty good match. If you didn't know, you'd be like, oh, you wouldn't even notice. You can probably tell now because you know, obviously, it's a different arm, but if you just came to my house and saw it, you would never give it a second thought that it might potentially not match. Arm number 2. If I sold just the arms, I would be an arms dealer. Leg. Now the legs are kind of hard to put on. If you don't heat them up all the way, you will fight it and fight it and fight it and never get it on. So make sure you get a really good heat up on it. And listen, I'll put it by the microphone so you guys can hear Hear the click. Here we go. Ooh, that's how you know they're secure. And one last step. This head, which is really nice. Look at that. There's very little spots at all on it. This is the hardest part to get on because it has a long ways to stretch on there. Oh, there we go. Dun, 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 dun. Now he's still really rubbery, so I just got him out of all the heat. But there is our King Grayskull. And now his shoulders are corrected. Hooray! And he's made with a much superior plastic now. And the only parts we use from the... Oh, I never loosened this leg. There we go. The only parts we used from the China figure was these pins here. Or these rings here. So that's it. And then again, I'll have to paint these pins. You know, I should just use the China pins too while I'm at it. That I won't have to paint them. Let's see how close they are to matching. This one's still in there. They actually match better with the classics than it does with... There it is. Yeah, I'm going to swap those out. I don't feel like painting those. I know I spent forever trying to get those boots on. We're doing it again. We're doing it again, man. My fingers are just burned. I can feel that my thumbs are burned. My fingertips are burned. And it also hurts right under your nail from pushing so hard. So the next couple days I'll be complaining to my wife. Oh, my fingers hurt. It's funny, she always kind of laughs at me about it. Why do you do it? Why do you do it? Worth it. Yes, some of the classics did break. Another one that broke easy, which was kind of frustrating, is Fisto. Fisto had his issues with breakage too. So let's just... I'm not going to switch the ring out because I already did that. I'm just going to switch the pin out. Eben Z Dynam pin. I would not switch the whole boots though. They're too different from the original figure. But just switching the pins and a ring should be fine. Oh, if I don't lose it. Oh, I just stepped on it. I felt it hit my heel. Chink, chink, chink. It will work. It will be awesome when it's done. All right, we got one side in. Now for the other. The youngest one in curls. All right. Heat it up. Also, the Red King Grayskull with the red cape, his armbands are also silver instead of gray. So that's also a difference too. There we go. And see, that looks way better just using the plastic brown instead of painting it brown again. All right, let's change this one out too. Now I know this is crazy. I always save all of the original parts in a baggie. So in case somebody ever says, hey, do you still have the original parts? I'm like, yeah, I still got that pile of broken parts. And if somebody for some reason wants to get the original broken parts, I still have them. Some people are kind of weird about collecting. Well, dude, if you still have the original parts, yeah, I have a pile of broken original parts for you. It's almost more of an upgrade putting these brown plastic pins in, but oh, I'm sorry. My video is not aimed right on that. Fit. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Is it gonna fit? Is it gonna work? Is it gonna happen? We're gonna have to fight it for 10 minutes trying. Oh, look at that. It went right in. I should have just did that to start with. There we go. Now he's all fixed. Let's line up that cape. All right, cool. Whew. Mike, join the chat. We miss you. Yes, heat guns can end up causing the paint to bubble and cause other problems or cause the plastic to melt. I do have a heat gun I use all the time for stuff, but there we go. Better than new, because now he won't break as easy. Now he's got stronger shoulders, stronger hip joint, stronger pins, stronger rings, and he still has the old look to him. Yep, now you can fix yours, Mike. Oh, my thumb is killing me. This one hurts the most for some reason. I must have burnt it the most. Oh. Yeah, I'm probably going to cut the pin off the back just so it fits better. I don't have my wire cutters with me right now. So, there you go. All that's left to do is fix the paint on the loincloth underneath there. And, see what I mean? From the angles, you can see the blue a little bit. And normally, I wouldn't paint it till after I had the loincloth on, so that was kind of my fault for doing it early. Yeah, it looks really cool. That looks good. And now I got a box for my light blue one, my clear one, my custom. Hey, thanks, Timu. I appreciate it. Timu? I can't see your name. It's so small. All right, that is it. Thanks for watching. I'll probably re-edit this video into a shorter version, so we'll see. And see, that's what I mean. These original parts are just break so easy. It's funny too. Once you get it apart, it's always loose right here. It's the weirdest thing. It's like the loincloth helps hold tension. And remember, one side is small, one side is big, so be careful how you do it when you put those back on. And remember to cut off the corners of the loincloth. You'll never get it back on. It will ride all the time. All right, I think that's it. He's the $6 million barbarian. Yep, he still has loose ankles though, because that's just the way he came, so. Loose ankles McGee. Yes, He-Man from the first mini comic is the true He-Man. Yep, they tried to be cheap. All right, anyway, good journey. Thanks for joining me. And, you guys already know, you were here last night. I finished it. And it was fun, too. This morning I did a video of putting back the old parts together of leftover from the dwarf. So it's kind of funny. Here's how he looks without all his cool armor and stuff. Yep. Yeah, I gotta admit, this looks so much cooler. Look at the difference. I just love the way this looks now with using the Origins body. So much cooler. Rickster Mattel cheap since when? It depends on the line, man. It depends on the line. All right. Thanks for joining me. Good journey, you guys. Bye now.